Alright, what's up everyone? So back out on the car today. So we're gonna try to get the old roll bar where the 6x6 plates. I got to get some of those cut out of the floor or decide what I'm gonna do with them so I can start trying to test fit the 10-point, because I need to get I want to get the main hoop in and then maybe mess with the roof bar. I don't know what that's called, but the roof bar, and then eventually the down bars are through the dash ones, so I pull the windshield, and I don't want to do that until I'm absolutely ready, since I'm working on the car outside. That's just going to be a hassle while the windshield's out, so I want to make sure I'm ready to go with that stuff. So we'll get to it. Big problem is way back when I first built the car, I did some sound deadening, and I did the old Lowe's hardware peel and seal, roofing tire aluminum back stuff, and really worked well as sound deadener. But now I'm kind of worried about how hard it's going to be to get off the floor here. So I'll show you a video here in a minute of me trying to pull some out. So let's get started, and hopefully we can get these things cut out and get a main hoop test fitted this weekend. Alright, so if you watched the last video, you saw that I cut the roll bar out, so I had an 8-point. So, and this is the peel and steel stuff I'm talking about. So I don't know. Oh, well, we might get lucky. We'll see how easy this stuff is to get off here, and but hopefully it'll come off. So we'll see. I'm gonna put the camera down and I'll update you once I get one pulled off. All right, so that wasn't so bad. Definitely wouldn't want to do the whole floorboard. So if I ever do anything with the floorboard, I'm just cutting it out. I'm not messing with peeling all this, but I can get it peeled off the plates easy enough. So now I'll just get my cutoff wheel and I'll just run around the edges where it was welded originally, and then try to pry it out, and then hopefully be able to get the new one on there. So had to make a tool run to Harbor Freight. So got in the truck, hopped in, figured I'd give this a try. I got one of these little cutters, one of them oscillating tools. So it says it can cut steel, so metal. So we'll find out if it can or not. And then I got some more cutoff wheels just in case. And then also got a face shield, because that stuff was kind of hitting me in the face and I didn't like it. I'm too purty. But so we'll get back home and do some more grinding, and hopefully this little guy will cut it well. That would be nice, because I think that would go a lot quicker. But we'll try it out and I'll let you know. We were back from Harbor Freight, and I actually bought a blade for this thing, but this blade right here, where is it? Right there's not gonna focus. But anyway, it says it's wood, metal, plastic, so we're gonna give this blade a shot since it still has some teeth left on it before I break out the new one. And I also got more cutoff wheels and a face guard, because we'll probably need the cutoff wheels, I'm sure. But hopefully this works, and that would be sweet. So this thing actually is cutting. You can see right there where we had it, and hasn't broken any teeth off yet. And this is just the bimetal blade, so I've got the carbide one to come after this, so we'll keep using this one until I knock all the teeth off. So the blade I had on it didn't last too long. It did do some decent cutting, but I think I'm gonna have to do this, use both of them, because I'm going to use the cutoff wheel where I can, and then use this where I can't get to the cutoff wheel, because these little blades right here are expensive, and I know it's cheap Chinese, but it was still 15 bucks for this blade, and I don't want to burn through. I'm not buying another one, so if I kill this one, I'll have to come up with a different plan on getting these plates out. But I'll just use a cutoff wheel where I can, and then use these as needed. So I got this plate out. Used a combination of the cutoff wheel and the oscillating tool, which the blade held up good. I started hitting it with some WD-40 to try to keep it cool, and it won't focus, but it did do alright. It still got teeth, so hopefully I can get the other side done. But when I put it back together, I have to do something a little bit better about sealing this hole on the bottom. Make sure I try to keep this rust out of here. Which you can see, it's an old car, so it's got lots of rust in it. But we will figure this out and get it in a little bit better shape. So, because I really would like the floor pan to hold up if I ever am in a wreck. But my plan is for the 8-point, we'll have it going to the subframe connector to the floor, so we'll put it to that instead of the floor, and then I'll also have it connected to this. So I think it'll be much stronger than it is now, but I still want to try to fix this a little bit better. So now I'm going to jump over to the other side. Probably just get the sound deadener peeled off and then call it a day and get back on this tomorrow. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright, so it's actually the next day here, and we're back on it. So I got the peel and seal off of this one, and I've already started grinding on it. So hopefully we'll get this ground and be pretty cool, get this one out, and then I'm going to dig out the new 10-point roll bar from S&W Racecars, and we're going to compare it to the old one, which was also from S&W. So it'll be interesting to see if they're exactly the same, since it should have been bent on the same, I guess, CNC. I'm guessing they got a CNC bender or whoever they buy them from, and they just have it in their database and bend it up. So hopefully it's exactly the same, and then I'll kind of know where I want to put the main hoop, because if you watch the one video, I really liked where I had the main hoop at the old bar, because it was kind of hidden by the hardtop door. Jesus, yeah, because you know, if you watch the other video, I'd like to really hide the bar, the main hoop, with the windows like it was before. I kind of showed that in the video, so hopefully you can check that out and see what I mean. And then we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do with these, where these 8-point panels are, which I'm thinking I'm just gonna cut the pipe off flush and just leave the plate there. I'm not going to worry too much about the plate, because I have decided I am going to put the 8-point straight through the floor subframe connector this time. I'm not going to do it to the floor. But anyway, we'll get at it, and hopefully next time I'm talking at you, we will have a main hoop out doing some comparison. Alright, so finally got this other plate out. This thing actually kicked my butt. I ended up having to cut the roll bar there where the little pipe was left, the tube was left. I had to cut that shorter, and then I had to get my other grinder out with a cutoff wheel, do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But we finally got it out, and you can see this side's pretty rusty too, where I didn't have that hole sealed on the bottom. So we're definitely going to fix that this time. But good news is it's out, so now I can go get the 10-point S&W roll bar out, and we'll do some test fitting. So stand by. Alright, so it's actually been about a week since I've been back on the car, so we're going to get back on it today. Just got all those plates and stuff cut out last week, so we're going to start test fitting the roll bar and get as far as we can with that before we have to pull the windshield out, and then we'll figure out how to get the windshield out of the car. So I'll show you what I got with the roll bar, and then some stuff I got to figure out, and then we'll go from there. That's the S&W 8-point roll bar that I'm taking out, that I cut out last week. And then here's the 10-point that I'm going in. So I got the main hoop, the roof hoop. Not sure if that's really the name, but anyway, we'll call it the roof hoop. And then got the down bars and door bars, and then rear bars. And we also went ahead and ordered the 12-point part. So we'll have the front tubes running up front to help stiffen up the Mustang 2 front suspension. So hopefully we'll get all this test fitted. We won't get it all, but I mainly want to get the main hoop in, and then try to maybe think about what we're doing with the roof hoop and the down tubes for that, so I can try to get that part figured out, because everything else will be pretty easy. That's going to be the hard part, just pulling the windshield and drilling holes in the dash. So that'll make me kind of nervous. But once we get that part, all the door bars and the rear bars and the front tubes should all be fairly easy. So I say that, but we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, so keep watching. We'll go get the main hoop test fitted and go from there. Yeah, one reason I went with S&W is because since I rolled the dice with them the first time and got the 8-point, and it fit perfect in the car. So you can see how well their 10-point also goes, which is just a smaller diameter, but it'll fit the car perfect too. So really good stuff from S&W. Alright, so as hoped, the main hoop's going to fit pretty much right where I had the last one, I'm hoping. So the goal is I really like the way the roll bar looked from the side, being able to hide it with the window. So you can see the main hoop goes up at a slight angle to the back, and then when you close the window you can't really see it from this angle. So I like that. So we're going to try that again, and it also works good with my seat placement. So when he angled it back, I could get the seat where I was pretty happy with it. So we'll go get the roof hoop and see if it will work with it there, and then we'll start probably doing some final cuts on this hoop and maybe get it tacked in where we need it and go from there. Okay, so I kind of got stuff test fitted, and I got the roof bar up, and I really want the roof bar to be hidden. I don't want it to be below this. So I've got a few inches up there. You can see on the other side it's probably about 4 inches or so. But the roof, the main hoop, I'm gonna, right now I've got it set up. I got the chop saw off. I'm gonna cut 1 inch off each end, and I'm just gonna cut it square for now. And then you saw how I want to lean it back a little bit. Once we get to that point, I'll just hand grind that angle in to make sure the gap's good for when we weld. And I'm gonna get that cut and make sure that would give me enough room up top to still be able to weld the roof hoop in and all that happy stuff. So we'll get that done. We'll get this thing chopped and then test fitted, and then I'm gonna get my grinder out and grind the rest of this mess out. And I've got new plates with the new roll bar, so we'll stick them there just for test fitting purposes and go from there. So yeah. So we got the pipe set up in the chop saw. You can see right there I'm right at 1 inch, which that'll be like 1.25 inches if you take in the blade width, which that's fine, because I mean 1 1/8 inch, sorry. So it'll be around 1 1/8 inch, but I have the 1/8 inch plates that go under it, so it'll still be 1 inch. So that's the way we're gonna set it up, and we'll get to chopping. So got the main hoop cut, got this got the little shop vac out, and got this vacuumed up. So now I'm gonna, you can see where the old plates were welded in. I'm gonna get all that ground down until I get a new plate to fit nice. And then once we do that, we'll start doing some test fitting, maybe even tack welding. I'm not sure how aggressive I'm gonna be with tack welding yet, but I think I'm gonna have to get pretty aggressive. But I want to make sure, when I did the 8-point, I drilled these holes so I could put the cage down so I could weld on top of the bar before I put it back up. And I don't know if I need to do that with the 10-point or not, but it would seem like I would need to, but I don't know. But definitely more involved with the 10-point than the 8-point, because you got to worry about the roof hoop fitting right and the down tubes up front fitting right. So but anyway, we'll get this done and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Alright, so went ahead and got these ground up. I still got to do the rust cleanup. Got it cleaned up so my plates will fit. So I got that one in. Got that one over there in. So we'll go ahead and grab our hoop and make sure it still fits in. And then I'm going to decide, I might tack a corner or something. I might tack a corner or something. And then just to get it in so it'll kind of stay steady for test fitting purposes. We'll go from there. So I went and got my angle finder just to make sure my hoop is at least level, which currently it's perfect, which is awesome. And we're going to stick this on the down bar here, so that way we can see about how much angle I need, because I want it to be about right there. So that means I need to cut maybe a 3-degree angle in it. Alright, so we got the main hoop set back up in the chop saw. So I've got it set up where it's a 3-degree angle, so that should give me my back angle I want. And then we're going to cut, the large part will be a 1/2 inch, and then hopefully the smaller part will be less than that, hopefully about 1/4, but I'm not really sure. I think 3 degrees will probably be much closer to a 1/2 inch, but we will go with that, and we should still have plenty of room to hide the top hoop, so we should be good. I'm still debating on if I'm going to change it from a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch, but I'll let you know after I cut it. Alright, so we actually ended up just doing a 1/4 inch instead of a 1/2 inch. But as you can see, fitment's good down at the bottom. Come on, focus. Focus. But fitment's good at the bottom, and it's right where I want it to be. You can see it comes up, and when the passenger side door closed, the chrome trim, it might fall when I close it, but this trim will pretty much hide the bar, which is what I want. And I only did a 1/4 inch, and it looks like it's going to be really good for the height. You can see this will give me about a 1/2 inch clearance up here, which I'm happy with. So now I just got to decide. Then we'll go ahead and tack the plates in, tack this bar in, so I'll be able to fit the main hoop here, because I got to go ahead and notch it and measure it, and then once we get that figured out, then it'll be time to pull the windshield out, which I'm not looking forward to. but we'll figure that out. And then I have a tarp in the garage we can throw on the car to keep the rain out. Alright, so I kind of test measured what I needed. So the roof hoop comes at 32 inches. So it's 32 inches long, I guess. So from rough measuring, I need 29 inches. So I made me a mark 3 inches back. And it's kind of hard to see, but so I want to go right there. And then that should give me a 29-inch one. So I've got everything level. So hopefully it'll all work out. And I got my little helper hand there. So we'll get this thing, go grab my electric drill and fire up the notcher. And notch this side and then flip it around, notch the other side. And then we'll kind of test fit it. I really just have the main hoop in there balanced. So not sure how far, but I want to get this cut and then probably start working on the windshield, because I think just pulling the windshield out will make everything easier for the next few parts of the roll bar. So we'll get that done. So I found me some good old super oil in the garage, and just trying to keep everything cool while we're cutting. So hopefully I don't mess up my bit, because I really don't want to have to go buy another hole saw. So got the first cut done, and you can see how nice it's going to fit up. You know, it's just a straight cut, so these are super easy. Just keep everything at 0 and do some cutting. So we're going to swap this bar around and get that side cut, and then we'll see if it fits in the car. Alright, so bar is flipped around. I double checked everything's level, so everything's still good and level. So we'll get this side cut and then we'll get it in the car. Alright, so I kind of messed that up. So when I cut these, I assumed that the roof hoop would meet the main hoop on the flat part of the bar, which then it would be right, but it actually doesn't. It kind of hits it right in the turns here. So that's my bad. So I need to take these back to the notcher and notch them at like a 45, and then they would fit. So I'm going to try to do that with removing as little material as I can, just to make sure they don't get too short. So stand by. We'll eventually get this thing in. Alright, so just finished test fitting everything. I got laid down because it got hot on me, so I'm fixing to call it a day. But we did get the roof hoop fitting right. So what I did is on the bender, you can actually, I'll show you on this. So I left this at 90, right? But when I put the roof hoop in, you saw I had it all level and everything perfect. So what I did is I tilted this at like 37 degrees, because that's what that bend measured. So I just did that for that side, and then we did the other side the other way, and it came out right. So it looks good. Hopefully in the next video. All right, everyone. Like I said a while ago, it got hot, so I'm gonna call it a day. So next video we'll get this windshield out, and then we'll figure out how to drill holes in the dash and get the down tubes and stuff, and we'll get everything tacked in, and then I can give you a better video so you can actually see how the S&W 10-point fits into your Falcon if you're interested in getting one for yours. So keep watching, and we'll eventually get this thing finished. Thanks.